Hello, dear students. Welcome back to our news channel. Students, today we are going to talk about how India is saving its ancient seeds. India, at the same time, testing a laser weapon that sounds straight out of a sci fi movie, and building friendships across oceans with African countries. Okay? So, let's start with the story of seeds. Well, they are not just any seeds, but are traditional indigenous seeds that hold the power to save India's future. Imagine this. You are standing in a field in remote village in Odisha. The air smells of wet soil. A farmer bends down, touches the grain and smiles. So, the farmer is not planting a modern hybrid seed from a packet. He's planting a seed passed down from grandmother, from the grandmother of farmer, which is a traditional variety of millet. Okay. Now, this seed is tough. It doesn't complain if the rain is late, and it grows well if there's a drought, and it's packed with nutrients. Okay. So, do you know what's happening now? These traditional seeds, they are disappearing. And every day we lose more and more varieties of seeds that once made India rich in food diversity and culture. Okay? तो आप कभी जब अगर गांव में जाओगे, you can ask your the farmers that are there. You can ask them the difference that they are seeing right now with regard to seeds. Okay, so earlier they used to sow nat indigenous traditional seed varieties. पहले के जो seeds होते थे, they were different, but now we are growing more hybrid varieties. Okay, so traditional seeds are types of crops that have been grown for centuries, and our ancestors grew them without any fancy machines or chemicals. So, and those seeds, students, they survive floods, they survive droughts, pests, because they were naturally strong. Okay, and some examples of seeds are here in this news article. It is mentioned like ragi, kodo, bajra, jowar. Now these millets are न्यूट्रिशियस एंड क्लाइमेट फ्रेंडली, है ना? तो ये हम पहले से खाते आते हैं. ओके, बट नाउ these millets have been replaced with wheat and rice, right? And talking about rice, we also have indigenous rice varieties, which are not the polished white rice that we see in malls, but colorful, aromatic, and rich in minerals. Okay, even students, when we see local pulses and vegetables, है ना, तो कुछ ऐसे भी होते हैं that don't need chemical sprays or constant watering. Why? Because they have been grown with traditional seeds. So these seeds are part of our heritage, just like monuments or old temples. But the question is, why are they disappearing? See, we all go to supermarkets, right? What do we see there? Only certain types of rice, wheat, and vegetables. And very few shops sell millets or even forgotten varieties of rice. Why? Because we have been trained to want only polished white rice or wheat chapatis. And that's what government food programs offer. That's what ration shops give. And that's what school meals serve. So farmers, they stopped growing traditional seeds. No demand, hence no supply. Okay. And traditional seeds, they used to be shared among farmers. Okay, a farmer would have seeds from one harvest and then use them again. But now, Today, we have seed companies, multinational companies, they are selling hybrid seeds, not the traditional ones. Okay, see, when any farmer use hybrid seeds, they cannot be reused. ओके, जैसे मैं जैसे आप टोमेटो का है, टोमेटो प्लांट ग्रो किया सीड से, एंड again this, if it had been a traditional variety, then it can be reused again. But today farmers, they are buying seeds from companies and they sell hybrid seeds, and these seeds they can't be reused. अगर hybrid seed का अगर दोबारा से एक बार अगर उसका प्रोडक्ट मिल गया, वेजिटेबल मिल गया, उसका दोबारा से अगर हम उसी सीड का यूज करके इफ यू वांट टू ग्रो क्रॉप, वी कैन नॉट डू दैट, and they need chemical fertilizers and lots of water. Okay, and there are very few seed banks in our country to protect our native varieties, and most of them don't get proper funding. Okay, so back in the 1960s, it is also there in the news article that India had to fight hunger. So the Green Revolution started. Okay, 1960s में क्या था? Hunger था बहुत ज़्यादा. So Green Revolution started, and we started growing high yield varieties of seeds that were introduced to increase food production, because we were facing hunger, right? So although it helped solve hunger, but it also pushed only a few crops like wheat and rice. Result, thousands of local crops, they were ignored, and we forgot that diversity in crops means security in farming. So even research and government subsidies mostly support modern high yield crops, not the traditional ones. Okay, now you must be thinking, why should we care about this? See, climate change is real, that we know, right? Weather is unpredictable. So these traditional crops are more resilient to foods, droughts, and pests. In fact, they are nutrient rich. So they are better for our health, and they grow with less water and fewer chemicals. So they are also good for earth. है ना? So in short, these seeds are the answer to the future. They are not just a memory of the past. Okay? And there are certain groups, uh, you know, which are basically, they are doing many efforts for the preservation of these seeds, like groups like MS Swaminathan Research Foundation. They are creating local seed banks so farmers can exchange and store traditional seeds. And Odisha has launched Millet Mission. Even if farmers are supported to sell these crops through minimum support price, they will also grow more. है ना? तो ये सारी चीजें हैं जो अभी चल रही हैं ताकि जो ट्रेडिशनल वैरायटी है उसको भी कंजर्व किया जाए. Right? Now, the next article that we have today is regarding laser weapon, India's laser weapon. So DRDO just tested a laser weapon called MK2A. Okay, MK2A, laser detected energy weapon. So sounds fancy, right? Because it is. This weapon uses high power laser beams to destroy drones, missiles, and enemy sensor at the speed of light. So it's a super precise, low cost, and it has no explosion or collateral damage. So think of it as burning the enemy's eyes quickly and silently. And guess what? It costs less than a bottle of petrol to fire. So, this makes India one of the few countries to have such advanced defense tech. And the test was done in Andhra Pradesh. Science fiction? Science fiction? No. It's now science fact. Yes, that is what uh, DRDO had achieved. Okay. Now, last article of the day is regarding India and Africa maritime engagement. So, India and 8 African countries have started a massive naval exercise off the coast of the coast of Tanzania. तंजानिया के कोस्ट पे. ये नेवल एक्सरसाइज कंडक्ट किया गया था. Okay, and it's called AI Kimi, short for Africa India Key Maritime Engagement. The aim to build teamwork and tackle shared ocean threats like piracy, illegal fishing, and disaster relief. And ships like INS Chennai, INS Kesari, they joined the mission along with sailors from countries like Kenya, South Africa, and Madagascar. Right? तो ये इनके बीच में इनेबल एक्सरसाइज कंडक्ट हुआ था एंड इट्स अ ब्यूटिफुल एग्जांपल ऑफ इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन. At the same time, we can also see that India and its India's growing role as a friend and partner in the Indian Ocean region. Okay, so that's all for today, students. I hope you enjoyed learning with me. Next time, what we'll do, we'll dive into another story that matters. And uh, till then, stay curious, keep asking questions. Okay, so that's all for today. Bye bye.